In a world where gods walked among mortals, where honor meant more than life, and where glory was the only path to immortality, one name thundered across the battlefield: Achilles. He wasn't just a warrior. He was a symbol, a storm of rage, a legend so powerful that thousands of years later, we still speak his name. But who was Achilles? Was he real, or just a myth carved by poets? Let's journey back to the late Bronze Age, to war-torn shores, divine bloodlines, and a wrath that changed the course of an epic. Long before Greece became the cradle of Western civilization, it was a patchwork of powerful kingdoms. One of them, Mycenae, ruled by warrior kings, stood at the heart of an age of heroes. Around 1250 BCE, a mighty city stood in the northwest corner of Anatolia. Today, we call it Troy, modern-day Turkey. Archaeological excavations led by Heinrich Schliemann and later Manfred Kaufmann revealed fortifications, arrowheads, and signs of conflict, strong hints that a great siege may have happened here. Could this have been Homer's Troy? We can't say for certain, but the timing, the location, and the evidence of war all point to a possible historical conflict that later inspired mythic retelling. Enter Homer, the blind poet of the 8th century BCE. His epic, the Iliad, doesn't give us the full Trojan War. Instead, it zooms in on a few furious weeks of rage, pride, and death, and at its heart is Achilles. Described as the son of Peleus, a mortal king, and Thetis, a sea nymph, Achilles straddles two worlds. His very name, Achilles, may derive from Akos, grief, and Laios, people, the bringer of grief to his enemies. He's not just brave, he's terrifying, swift-footed, unbeatable in combat, and like all great Greek heroes, deeply flawed. Achilles' clash with Agamemnon, commander of the Greek army, isn't just about a woman, Briseis. It's about honor. In ancient Greek culture, a man's worth was public. Losing honor meant losing identity. So Achilles, furious, withdraws from the war. And the tide turns. Without him, the Greeks falter, until one death changes everything. When Patroclus, Achilles' closest companion, maybe friend, maybe lover, dons his armor to save the Greeks, he meets a brutal end at the hands of Hector, Troy's greatest prince. The death of Patroclus shatters Achilles. What follows is not just vengeance, it's menace, a godlike rage. Achilles re-enters the war not as a man, but as a force of destruction. His battle cry echoes like thunder, and Hector's fate is sealed. Their duel is the epic's emotional crescendo. When Achilles finally slays Hector, he doesn't stop there. He drags the body behind his chariot, a grim symbol of grief turned into cruelty. This is Achilles unchained. No ancient inscription confirms Achilles' existence, but what we do know is that warrior elites did exist in Mycenaean Greece. Their tombs, such as the famed Grave Circle A at Mycenae, are filled with bronze weapons, gold masks, and boar tusk helmets like the one described in the Iliad. The idea of an Achilles may have been inspired by multiple real warriors, mythologized over centuries until he became the hero. As for the story of his invulnerability and fatal heel that comes later from Roman poets like Statius and Ovid, Homer never mentions the heel. His Achilles is mortal, but larger than life. Achilles' legacy is immortal. He appears in Euripides' plays, Virgil's Aeneid, and Dante's Inferno. Fast forward, and you'll find him in films like Troy, 2004, starring Brad Pitt, a visual feast, though far from historically accurate. Books like Madeline Miller's The Song of Achilles reimagine his story with emotional depth and love. Documentaries such as BBC's Troy, The Truth Behind the Legend, and Ancient Discoveries explore the archaeology behind the myth. TV series from Netflix's Troy, Fall of a City to podcasts like Hardcore History all keep Achilles in our collective memory. Why? Because he embodies timeless truths, power and vulnerability, love and loss, rage and redemption. In a world still fascinated by war, celebrity, and legacy, Achilles remains hauntingly relevant. He is the original tragic hero. His story asks, what does it mean to be great? Is glory worth the price? Can rage ever be righteous? From ancient battlefields to modern pages and screens, Achilles reminds us of the thin line between heroism and hubris. Achilles may not have lived exactly as Homer wrote him, but his legend is a mirror, reflecting not just the past, but ourselves. So, what part of Achilles' tale struck you the most? Was it his rage, his love for Patroclus, his final duel with Hector? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more stories that blur the lines between myth and history, hit that like and subscribe button and join us on the next epic journey.